Oh boy. Well, so right before this video just started, you guys, like you'll never believe this. Like they were just shooting. They just fired like 10 shots. So, welcome to Rochester, right? That's what's going on right now. I can't even. Like this oh man. Like really? Like really? So anyway, really. So, they just fired like 10 shots over here like just right now. That's what's going on. And you got to laugh to keep from crying. It's terrible, isn't it? It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, so let's talk about Rochester and crime, right? I mean, Jesus. Uh, amen. And mental health and programs. So we got some serious issues with crime, as you guys just missed it, but they were literally just shooting a couple of seconds ago. I am barely able to believe it, right? But it's not beyond belief because that's what's happening in Rochester all over right now, right? Crime is out of control and it continues to grow. And what's worse than the crime being out of control and continuing to grow is that none of our elected officials will even acknowledge that crime is an issue or crime is going on. It's like the crime doesn't exist. And that's extremely alarming. And hopefully it's alarming to you as well. Because if our politicians don't work to do something about it, what will be done about it? Nothing. Which means that it leaves it up to us to do something as community members. But here's the deal when it comes to that, right? So they've made it so we are not able to defend ourselves, right? They've taken away the ability for people to get legally legally obtained firearms in a reasonable time. They've made it extremely price prohibitive, and it's a serious issue. People want to defend themselves, their family, their friends, and their businesses and property. But the state has made it so difficult to do that. While at the same time, we've got people on city council that have pushed to defund the police and get rid of the police. And now we've got less police than we need. We're down like 100 plus police officers that we need. So they're spread very thin. Fortunately, we recently had a new cadet class graduate, and they started last Friday. So kudos to them. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your service. But the fact of the matter is, all of the disincentivizing of policing has made police scatter to the four winds, you know? So we don't have enough police. We've got criminals that know that because of bail reform and raise the age, that they will not be punished, that nothing's going to happen to them. And even if they are caught, that there will be very little repercussions. This is something that seriously needs to be addressed immediately, but nobody seems to want to. City council won't hold the state assembly or the state senate accountable for it. The mayor won't. The county executive nor the county legislature will hold the state assembly and the state senate accountable. I don't know if they're scared of them or what the situation is, so it falls to us, the citizens, to actually do something about it. So now us, the citizens, have to demand that our state assembly and our state senate elected officials work to amend immediately bail reform and raise the age, because it's having such a drastic impact on us. Now, not too far from where I am now, they've placed a homeless encampment. They did it a couple years ago because they moved the homeless encampment by where Spectrum is on Mount Hope. It used to be over there so that they could build the nice new high cost housing that nobody that is actually from the city can actually afford to live in, you know. So they did that and they put it over here because, you know, they're like, oh, well, nobody will care over there. It's already, they've got a lot of crime and drugs and stuff over there, so it'll be fine. Like, but you put them here And now there's more crimes, more drugs, and all types of crazy prostitution, which we never really used to have an issue with that. And the prostitutes just look cracked the hell out. It's bad. So we've got all of these issues, which is not even to mention the just general feeling of public safety, like it just doesn't exist anywhere in our city. We've seen multiple instances this week of stolen vehicles crashing into businesses or running up on baseball fields or almost mowing down kids at schools. It's gotten very much so out of control. Who cares, right? Nobody's doing anything. The police can't do anything because even if they arrest them, they'll be back out in a couple hours. Plus, we don't have enough police, so good luck if they get there, right? It's ridiculous. It's sad. And on top of that, we've got a mental health crisis that's booming out of control, and it's only grown since they decided under COVID to not let people into the hospitals, or unless it was something that's going to make the hospital tons of money. They've decided to make it so that you got to get all of these different shots and different procedures and stuff in order to come into the hospital. They fired a ton of nurses and doctors and other medical professionals because of the shots. And now our actual healthcare system is in complete disarray, as if it wasn't bad enough before that. And this is all self-inflicted by the policies that have been put in by our state government, right? Like, this just didn't happen by itself. This happened because of the policies that have been instituted in New York State. This isn't happening all across the country. This is happening here in New York State. And, well, unfortunately, and facts being facts, almost every other heavily Democratic state and urban center where Democrats are in power. This is an honest fact. Like, this isn't Democrat or Republican or anything. This is an honest fact. You look at Baltimore, you look at San Francisco, you look at Seattle. Oh, my Lord, Seattle. You look at all of these other places that are Democratic strongholds. All of the systems are broken. All of the crime is out of control because of the policies. The policies are what the problem is. And it's up to the people, the community members, to hold the elected officials accountable for the policies that they are instituting. It's on you guys. It's on us. It's on me. It's on everyone. But I'm doing something about it to try to hold them accountable. And if you want to help me hold them accountable, please reach out. Right now, my two big things are working to get them to amend bail reform and raise the age so that we can actually get some of these criminals off the street and restore some sort of semblance of what is reasonable public safety. But there's all types of stuff. And back to the mental health issue, right? There's no mental health services. We've got so many programs out the wazoo in New York State, right? So with all the programs that we got, you would think that something would be working somewhere, somehow, right? Then why we got all these crazy people running up and down the street? Why we got so much youth mental health issues? Oh, well, maybe because you closed down the schools. They couldn't see their friends. They couldn't go outside, blah, blah, blah. Then you tell them that boys are girls and girls can be boys, and all of this other nonsense that you're indoctrinating them in their head when you're not even teaching them the basics that they need to live and exist. This is the complete dissolution of our nation, and they want to know why are so many people having mental health issues? Because the state has made it so that people are scared of basically going outside because of crime. So that's an extra stressor on an everyday basis. Then we've got the price of food, we've got the price of gas, we've got the price of heating and electric and everything else just going up, skyrocketing, as if that's not going to add more stress. And these are things that people that are in power and the more affluent people don't even care about because they don't know what the struggle is. They don't know what's really real. And it's sad. And they forget about so many people. You know, I really believe we should open back up the mental hospitals and stuff like that. But they're trying to tell you that people with mental health problems are normal now, and it's okay to go around calling yourself a falcon and to ask that everybody address you with bird sounds like caca. Like, that's insane. Like, something's wrong with you. Like, you need a mental institution. Where are the men in white jackets to come get you? Like, that's not normal. Something is seriously wrong with you. But they'll tell you that everything is okay, that that's normal, that because this is, I guess, like Cuomo said, this is the new normal, isn't it? This is not normal, you guys. Maybe we never get back to normal or anything that looks like normal, but there's no way that we can just roll over and see all these people with these mental health issues and then have our elected officials say that they're doing something about it when very clearly they're not. Let's just take the homeless population for an example. Like I said, we got all these homeless people not too far from here, hundreds of homeless people. Where's the mental health for them, right? None. Doesn't exist, right? Maybe if they see a social worker once every year, something good happens. I mean, that's something positive, right? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's a lie, like, right? Like, they're not doing what they're promising they're gonna do, and excuse me, then they expect you to eat it up like it's okay. Yeah, everything's fine. Let's put in more programs, but the programs that you got are not working. Or the resources are being underutilized, or you're putting all the money into different people's pockets by funneling it through 8 levels of bureaucracy and then 20 different executives. And that's where all the money goes. And by the time it gets down to the actual people that are in need, there's no money. This is what we have to deal with in our city, in our community, and it's too much. People are suffering. And if you talk to the youth right now, like small children and stuff like that, just it's crazy, the issues that they're having right now, because the mental health impacts that they're having and they're experiencing are largely brought on by the policies of the state. The people that have passed these policies over the last couple years, honestly, need to be out of office. And I got some other words of what needs to happen to them, like the thought of actual punishment through the criminal justice system, but we know that the criminal justice system is only for criminals, so there probably won't be any actual accountability there. It's very, very sad. People feel lost, people feel alone, people feel abandoned, and it's only going to continue to get worse as the serious impacts of inflation continue to creep up. The cost of housing is going up. I saw one of our city council people, right? She was at a I don't know, some sort of an event where they were like, "Oh, look at what we did in Colorado, and this is how we got more money for programs." First of all, Colorado is a butthole right now. I don't know if you've been to Colorado lately, but unless you got money, it looks like it ain't good, right? Especially the major cities. It's the major cities that are run by Democrats, not the Republican ones. This seems to be a common theme about policies, not about party, about policies. And I wish the Democrats that were more sensible would stand up against some of these ridiculous policies that sound good but are not actually impactful. But that's another conversation. So they said, oh yeah, we can use this money in this scheme that they use in Colorado to actually pay for lower income housing. You want to know what was on that list? Raising taxes for property taxes, levying a new sales tax. You want to charge a new sales tax? Are you serious? And you want to raise property taxes? Are you outside your mind? Like, are you really outside your mind? You want to raise property taxes and you want to levy another sales tax in the city of Rochester? I got thoughts, comments, and concerns, none of them that I'm willing to express openly on the internet right now, because you got to understand, raising to any of the taxes, first of all, we need to lower taxes immediately. That's a whole nother conversation. But to add and levy a new sales tax, she's outside her rabid mind. Then talking about, oh, well, we should issue one-time bonds. Have you not seen that the bond market is collapsing, which I've been warning about for the last 3 years? And now here we got all these banks failing because of the bond market, because the daggone Federal Reserve keeps raising interest rates, which is, I know a lot of you don't understand that concept fully, which I'll cover in another video. I've covered it before, but I'll cover it in another video soon. But the issue is largely this: when you issue bonds, it comes out at the interest rate that it comes out, right? And it's like most of them are 10, 15, 20, 30-year bonds, okay? Well, not really 20, but you can have 20, 25. But anyway, so the bonds are set for the interest rate that it is at the time when they're issued. And then what happens is, if the Federal Reserve, like they're doing now, keeps raising interest rates, those bonds become worth less and less and less. And people try to offload those bonds. This is what happened with these banks. There was concern about the liquidity of the banks, and the banks tried to sell off their bonds, their US Treasury bonds, but because the bonds were at a lower interest rate, because the Federal Reserve has kept increasing the interest rates, which I just did it the other day. Ridiculous, people. The bonds were worth less because when they were issued originally, the interest was less. So now people don't want to buy those bonds because they're not worth as much as the bonds are that are currently being issued. So there's less money, which means that they took a haircut on the actual prices that they were supposed to get back for the bonds, that the money was supposed to be protected, because they're supposed to be like 10 and 30-year bonds. But that's another separate conversation. But anyway, she wants to levy bonds in this type of an environment. Are you serious? And you want to increase property taxes? I don't want to pay any more property taxes. Property taxes is out of control right now. And then most of the property taxes go to the school. I don't want to fund any school. I don't have any kids in the schools. I don't attend the schools myself. I don't use any of the school resources. And if it was up to me, we defund the daggone schools before we defund the police, because it's very clear that the school budget keeps going up and up every year, but we have less students, less teachers, and less buildings. They keep closing down all the daggone schools, and they got less students and less teachers, and they keep wanting more and more money, and they keep returning us less and less lower grades, less and less proficiency. Kids coming out of high school right now can't read. That's not a what do you call it? An embellishment. That's not me being hyperbolic. Kids can't read coming out of high school right now. And it's a very, very serious problem. But does anybody want to address that? Hell no. Okay? Then they wonder why they can't get a job, or they can't do nothing, or they out there running amok because they don't even have any type of an education, because y'all just boosting them, because this is the country where we have everybody is the winner syndrome. Everybody is a winner. Everybody is not. You need to teach these kids the value of an education so that they can be productive members of society. But you don't value that in our educational system. You prefer just to try to fluff your numbers for graduation rates. And you want to raise my taxes and pay for that bull crap so that you can turn out more students that are out here running amok, acting all crazy because you didn't get them no type of education in school to begin with? Not at all. Not at all. Then they're talking about, oh, well, the money we're going to get for marijuana, we can use for more housing and stuff too. Seriously? Seriously? You were talking about Colorado, right? Do you know what happened in Colorado? Because of all of the crazy, crazy taxes that they got on marijuana, the black market is crazy out there because of all the taxes that they got. We already got too much taxes on the marijuana here that they're trying to sell now that we don't even have to be sold, which is a whole separate conversation of how the state is just grossly mismanaging all of that. But that's a whole nother conversation. But the fact of the matter is that they want to increase the taxes on marijuana. Here's the problem. That goes with the potency and everything like that. When you do that, increasing the taxes on the marijuana makes it more expensive, which pushes people to the black market. Now, I don't know if you guys know that there's a lot of overdoses and stuff going on, and a lot of the drugs out there, even marijuana, isn't just marijuana anymore, because everybody's looking to get more high and more high to escape the everyday travails and perils of life, because the way that the states made things is everything's out of control. So people just want escapism. They want to get out of here somehow. And because they know that the day to day really kind of sucks balls, and not in a good way, you know? And it's really, we're seeing this situation where we've got all these added programs. Programs are not full. Number one, they're all run by somebody else's cousin or best friend or whatever the case is. These are the programs that are getting funded. They're not extensive enough, if they are even working at all, which most of them don't even work, which is a whole separate conversation. And the people that are lowest on the totem pole, the people impoverished and the people that are working class that need these types of programs the most, don't even have access to them or don't know that they exist, which is a whole nother conversation. Things are out of control. And honestly, we deserve better. But in order to get better, we're going to have to hold our elected officials accountable. Okay? Now, to go back to the crime piece, the fact that crime is out of control, the fact that when I started this video that they were shooting during the countdown phase of the video. So it's, and I, and like I laugh and I smile because like really deep down inside I want to go the hell off, right? Like I got a lot of stuff to say and ain't none of it pretty and none of it is, what do you call it, polite for polite society. These people that are our elected officials, especially the city council people who have pushed to defund the police and disincentivize policing, need to be held accountable. The state assembly members and the state senators who have the ability to amend bill reform and raise the age need to be held accountable. All of this stuff that people have voted for these people, they need to hold them accountable. You know who's in all of these offices? Democrats. You know, if you're a Democrat, you know what you need to do? Hold them accountable. Come on now. Like, then I get people that'll say, oh, well, Marcus, you don't know this about that. You don't know that this is affecting that. To hell with you. What do you mean I don't know? You don't know. Because you got your rose tinted glasses on. You don't know what the struggle is really like. You don't know what it's like to live in an impoverished community. You don't know what it's like to really be working class. You got your nose so far up in the sky that you can tell me what Mars smells like. And these are the people that go against the stuff that I say, and they try to make it like it's something that it's not, or something else, because they don't care about blacks. They don't care about Spanish people. They don't care about anybody else that's in the working class or in poverty. They care about themselves. They care about their own sensibilities, and they care about feeling like they're being morally virtuous, when in the same time they're destroying the working class and those in poverty. Largely, those two groups are made up of black and brown people. So you care so much, you're such an ally. Why are you destroying the working class and those in poverty? Why are you making it more difficult for them to live? And then you want to be like, oh, well, here's a little goodie. Here, take this little handout. Don't nobody want your handout. People want to be able to provide for themselves. They want to not have to go through the extra struggles from all of the ridiculous regulations that you put in place. They want things not to cost as much as they do. They want them to be more affordable, but you keep raising taxes and levying them for your fucking programs that are ridiculous. Don't even get me started. See, I got a little bit passionate there. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, this is stuff that I have to deal with every day. I have to deal with people like that every day that just don't want to see what's going on in the real world or what's affecting real world people. And I need more assistance. My goal right now is to push back against bail reform and raise the age and work to amend them so that they can hold a lot of these criminals running up in people's houses, beating up old ladies for their pocket change, crashing cars into different businesses, and stealing people's vehicles at traffic lights, carjackings, and just the regular car thefts too. All of this, hey Kevin, I see you there. All of this is out of control, and we have to hold them accountable. That's what I'm working to do right now. So if you guys want to pitch in, I encourage you to reach out to me, because this is something that the whole community needs to get involved in. And we can't listen to those naysayers that are saying, oh, it's not bail reform. Oh, it's not raise the age. Yes, it is. You don't know what you're talking about. You just want to feel like you're morally virtuous. But in the meantime, they're shooting up the freaking street from where I am before the video started recording. You know, like yeah. Like I'm walking up the street, a bitch gets stabbed. Like, what the fuck? Excuse my language. I'm just this stuff that I see in my daily life. Like, it's just out of control. Cars running up and down through schools. Like, is this is what we're doing? Running up on baseball fields? Businesses closing left and right because the crime is out of control and they can't afford the theft anymore? This is what keeps going on. This is very serious, and we must hold our elected officials accountable. But it's going to be up to you. I'm already working on it. And if you want to pitch in, please reach out. You guys, it's time to take action. Okay? It really, really is. So I encourage you, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. You guys be blessed and be well. I'll catch you later.